morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. We did it. Y'all did it. It truly is amazing. The Houston Botanic Garden is no longer a dream. It's planted, it's growing, and it's beautiful. In the next few minutes, you'll be among the first to see the gardens yourself. But before we do that, I'd like to thank some very special people. First, I'd like to thank all the past board members and the board members of today. They kept the faith that we could build this fabulous garden. I have to admit there were times that I was worried it would not happen, but it is here and it is wonderful. I also cannot thank Claudia Vassar and her team enough. They have worked so hard to make mine and many other people's dreams come true. And she has put so many hours into this, it's a blessing. And so thank you, Claudia. I also want to thank Mayor Parker, Mayor Turner, Councilman Gallegos, and the city council members of past and present for their commitment of this site. I also cannot say how much I appreciate West 8 and their entire design team. They have built the most stunning and thoughtful, world-class, beautiful garden. Harvey, the construction team, you have executed this unbelievably and in a very fast time pace. So thank you. And to all of our donors, oh my gosh, thank you so much for giving so generously and investing in this vision and believing in the Houston Botanic Garden. It is important for all of Houstonians, and it is important for all the visitors that come here. So thank you. And just remember that y'all helped us get to where we are today. Thank you. And dreams really do come true. And I am so glad that you're here today to celebrate my dream. So thank you. I would like to now introduce the mayor and have him come up. I can't appreciate you enough for all you've done for us in the city.
Thank you so very, very much. And this is an exciting day, and it's good to be with everyone. And I think I'm far enough away from you I can do this right now. Look, I do, well, before I want to get started, I do want to acknowledge a few people. And Claudia, where's Claudia go? There you go. Let me thank you for your incredible leadership. Very much appreciate you. And then I want to back up. This is September 2020, but I want to back up probably, maybe about 8 years. Because I think it was Christmas Eve. Where's the niece? Niece, come on up a little bit closer. Yeah. Let me just say this. I think it was 8 years ago, Christmas Eve, 2012, because I was talking to Andy, that you and Andy were touring different fireplaces and stuff, and you came across this site, and then that's when the thought emerged about Botanic Gardens on Christmas Eve, 2012. As Henry Thoreau would say, that was an idea whose time has come. So please give it up to them and this company. To all of the former city council members, those who are not currently serving, I'll say Councilmember Gallegos for a little bit later, but for all of the former council members, I can get you all to stand if you're a former council member. Let me thank you. And then for all of the current council members, and I want to especially highlight Councilmember Robert Gallegos, because he literally has just championed this project and carried it on his back. Thank you, man. And of all the current council members, if you'll stand up, Mayor Pro Tem, Letitia Plummer, Councilmember Cisneros, Councilmember Salazar, let me thank all of you. Look, it is an incredible day and an exciting day, and I'm happy to be here today for today's reception and ribbon cutting at Houston's Botanic Gardens. And it was here in January. We were here in January for a sneak peek, and community celebration of the new Susan Garber Family Discovery Garden. And I must say that, quite frankly, I'm blown away and truly impressed by this amazing place. And once we kind of walk around, I think we'll all be amazed. As I said in January, I have no doubt that the Houston Botanic Gardens will enrich life through discovery, education, and the conservation of plants and the natural environment. This very special place will give Houstonians another serene setting to enjoy nature and experience the physical and emotional health benefits of spending time outdoors, which we need. Quite frankly, we need more now than ever before during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is also a great example of public-private partnership. The city of Houston worked with a nonprofit to lease this land, which was part of the Old Glenbrook Golf Course. And the Houston Botanic Garden founders raised all the money, over $30 million, to create this first phase of the Houston Botanic Gardens. Give it up to all of the donors. This space has transformed what used to be the Glenbrook Golf Course and created a new destination here in the city of Houston, not only for the people living in the surrounding neighborhoods, but for the entire city. It has everything from hiking trails, a lagoon, plants, and play areas for the kids, and a newly constructed 5-acre stormwater wetland area to help mitigate flooding, all right here at Houston Botanic Gardens. The Houston Botanic Garden has been described as the city's new living museum for plants. And it does make you feel like you are on an exotic island in urban Houston, far from the hustle and bustle when we are just a short distance away from I-45. And Houston has many wonderful and serene destinations. And I know that the 132-acre Botanic Gardens will live up to its promise to provide a place for visitors to learn about plants, conservation, and nature, and connect Houstonians and visitors to our city across different cultures and ethnicities. And we must thank and acknowledge not only the Garber family, but also, again, Claudia G. Fasser, president of the Houston Botanic Gardens, the board, and everyone who has worked to make the Houston Botanic Gardens from a dream into a reality. And yeah, it is true. Dreams in Houston do come true. And so congratulations on a job well done. The Houston Botanic Gardens, a global garden, rivals the gardens of other major cities. Again, Councilmember Gallegos, thank you. You've been very passionate and persistent. One thing about Councilmember Gallegos, he does not give up until you give in. So I want to thank him. It's been a long-term investment in Houston for tourism and another jewel in Houston's park systems. And again, to all those who have been very instrumental in making this happen, thank you on behalf of 2.3 million Houstonians and so many others who will be visiting this beautiful location. Thank you so very much. Now let me put this back on.
Good morning. Wow, it's finally here. Excited about this. Thank you, Mayor Turner. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Martin. Thank you, current council members, and especially thank you, former council members, for your support and your vote on this and making this happen. One of the very first meetings I had as council member in January of 2014 was about the Botanic Garden. Call me selfish, but I knew Houston's next iconic green space would be right here in District I. I'm so excited and grateful to all who worked so hard to advance this effort and to help this beautiful garden grow. As you'll see, it's absolutely beautiful. And this is just the beginning. This garden will continue to grow alongside the many wonderful communities that surround it. Mayor, you've heard me brag about this before. The garden will be the greenway of Houston's green corridor. The garden, along with Memorial Park, which once fully restored will rival Central Park, will be anchors to this green corridor, linking Memorial Park to Buffalo Bayou Park, Sam Houston Park, Herman Square, Tranquility Park, Jones Plaza, Discovery Green, the historic Gus Wortham, Mason Park, Brays Bayou Greenway, Sims Bayou Greenway, and of course, here, the Botanic Garden. And guess what will tie this together? It will be Metro's future Green Line. And how appropriate that that rail line was named the Green Line. Again, I'm so grateful to Nancy, Suzanne, James, and the board members, as well as Jeff Ross, Claudia G. Vassar, and her outstanding growing team, and the many generous donors and organizations who've given of their time, talent, and treasure. And of course, the Community Advisory Board, representing the surrounding communities. And of course, also the Gulfgate Tours. It's the Gulfgate Tours that did the renovations on Park Place Boulevard, and it looks beautiful out there. So let's give them a round of applause. Let me also acknowledge the 2014-2015 council members and Mayor Parker for their vote of confidence and making today a reality. So thank you again. And to the community, thank you as well for your patience, understanding, and for your support over these past years. This garden will educate, motivate, and inspire all who visit to grow an appreciation of our natural world. Now let me introduce Nancy Thomas, Chair Emerita and Secretary of the Garden's Board of Trustees.
This is such a marvelous occasion that my heart sings in the joy of this moment. It reminds me of that old hymn that begins, "Morning has broken like the first morning." And indeed, it is the first morning for the Houston Botanic Garden. In a visit to a garden a few years ago, I saw a small plaque on which was written the words, "With merry companions, the way is never long." I have been so fortunate along the journey to this day to have had not only merry companions, but also ones who shared my love of gardens and were dedicated to making our Houston Botanic Garden a reality. Under the leadership of Nancy Amenshine, our board chairman, and Claudia Vassar, our president, and a remarkable staff, as well as the dedicated service of our directors, both past and present. This beautiful garden now opens to the benefit of our entire Houston community. I also thank the mayor and Mr. Gallegos and those who have helped us so much with the city and them giving this gift of property to this garden. I will watch with true delight as our garden paths fill with people from Houston's wonderfully diverse community. Children visit the Discovery Garden and Curiosity kiosks, and the garden brings pleasure and educational value to all, a living treasure for years to come. I thank each of you for sharing this day and helping your garden to grow.
Hello, I'm Mel Glasscock, and I'm vice chair of the board of the Botanic Garden. And I was awake at 3 o'clock this morning trying to compose something to say. But what I want to say, and I knew that most people before me would already do the thanking and the appropriate thanking. But this is, as we said, this is a dream come true. And I remember 30 years ago, after Susie had taken me to a number of botanic gardens on our travels, wondering why Houston couldn't have a botanic garden. And it stayed on my mind for a long time. I had no idea how we might make that happen, but I knew at that time I wanted it to be in the East End because this is where I grew up. And it's a real asset for this community out here. And I appreciate so much our mayors and the council's support for the garden, and particularly for Councilman Gallegos and Mayor Turner. Thank you for your continued support. It wouldn't have happened, however, had it not been for the ability to making a partnership with the city. And to that end, in around 2010, I happened to meet Jeff Ross, who you mentioned, at a event at Rice. And he told me that the seed had been planted by Nancy Thomas and her friends to create a garden. And there was a Houston Botanic Garden organization. And he asked me to join the board, which I accepted. And only to realize that we didn't have any land and we didn't have any money to buy any land. And so I'm saying that this never would have happened without the partnership between the board of the Botanic Garden and the councilman and mayor of the city of Houston. And I hope that y'all are as proud of it as I am. And Jeff Ross steered us through to what I deem a very successful partnership. And I want everybody to know how much we should appreciate his efforts in that regard. And also, I guess I could go on, but they told me I only had 2 minutes. I'm already over it. But I want to remind everybody that like any garden, if you want it to grow and prosper, it has to be tended. And that means you'll be hearing from us annually, okay? And you'll be hearing us sometime in the future when we want to expand the garden. So I was thinking about where we stand today. And this is, as Churchill said, this is not the beginning, and it's not the end, but it's the end of the beginning. And so let's go forth into the future for the growth of the Botanic Garden. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Today is the day. When is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago, the Chinese proverb says, but it continues. When is the second best time? Today. For when you plant a garden, you are planting for the future. Today, we are looking back and celebrating the efforts of people from all over the city of Houston, so many that are present here and that have been mentioned already, who came together, who believed in a vision for what the Houston Botanic Garden could be. A botanic garden that rivals the world's renowned gardens. A botanic garden of the size and location to be enjoyed by all the good people of Houston. A botanic garden with the ability to inspire visitors to love plants and care for our planet. Today, together, we will enter these gorgeous gates to see the fruit of all the time, effort, money, and labor invested in making this dream a reality. Thank you to each of you for your role and all you have done, big and small, to make this day a reality. And now it is my turn to echo all of the thanks that have gone before me and to extend the deepest thanks to Nancy Abenshine for her tremendous passion and leadership to make today possible. We wouldn't be here today without you, Nancy. And Nancy Thomas, our founder, who had this beautiful vision and this dream that inspired so many of us to come to this project and to love it from the bottoms of our hearts. Thank you, Nancy Thomas. Today, we are looking back, and we are also looking forward and celebrating the impact the Houston Botanic Garden will have on this community and the city for decades to come. As you enter these gates and experience the garden, I invite you to envision the future, for we are planting for the future. Imagine the grandeur of the trees in 20 years. See the faces of future generations of toddlers as butterflies dance all around them. Picture botanists studying different plants and how they thrive. Delight in a home gardener discovering just the right plant to get for that special spot in their home garden. Dream about more retention pond wetlands and pocket prairies being installed to create healthy habitats while protecting our city's resiliency. Envision a glowing couple celebrating their marriage in their favorite place to take an evening stroll. Think about all the school groups that will explore plant parts, how plants function, and what ecosystems are and what they mean for our humans. This morning, we will experience the garden that you have helped plant for everyone to enjoy, and for millions to enjoy in the many years to come. Each of you has been a gardener, planting seeds for this garden to grow. And as it is said, more grows in a garden than the gardener knows she has planted. On behalf of every visitor today and in the future, thank you for growing Houston's garden. Welcome to the Houston Botanic Garden.